Hello, everybody. Here we are, another Thursday King's Dream pop-up show. And who I have in the building right now is Kamal Amani. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time. We've been trying to do this, and life's ups and downs had caused me to slow down for a minute. But thank you for sticking out there with me. I didn't think I was that important.
Nah, brother, you already know, man. We here, we in the building on that. And one of the things I enjoyed being on the platform with you for the love and chit chat. You know what I mean? So grace me with that blessing on that. So you return the favor. You know what I mean?
Thank you. And I wanted you to know and Quentin to know, man, when y'all talk about relationships, please let me know. Let me get down with that. Man, I got a lot to talk about relationships. Get me in that. Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
I feel you on that. Feel you on that. So how about you start off, man, and let everybody know who you are and what you got going on out here in this society.
Okay, you're gonna have to ask more specific questions after that because who I am will take about 3 hours. But so I'm gonna try to put everything in a microcosmic version. All right. Yeah. So I am that little nappy-headed boy from Harlem and the Bronx, New York, who moved out to Jersey from a single mother with 3 siblings. Well, 2. I had 2 siblings, and we all had different fathers. My mother struggled in the Bronx, and my first things coming into this world was seeing like my mother have nervous breakdowns and faint because she was struggling to pay bills and things like that. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head, man. By like a millimeter, I got a car almost hit me when I was 7 or 6 because I was running from a bully in the city, But the Miss Jenkins, the lady looking out the window, Miss Jenkins, she went and told my mother, your son almost got hit by a car. And I was like, dang. And so then my mother yelled at me and stuff. Be careful. There was a man, there were signs everywhere in the Bronx at that time. A man was cutting off little boys' privates. So as a little boy, I was very nervous, with that in mind, and stick-up kids trying to stick up me for my groceries and stuff like that, I was a little nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck running around, and but there was a bully. My mother made me fight him one day because she got tired of taking my pizza money. So there's a bully, and I finally beat him up. And then I got a little confidence. And then I moved to Jersey. I beat a lot of people up. I got more confidence. But when I got knowledge of self from the Most High Elijah Muhammad, 5% Nation, and Nation Islam, then Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who moved out to Teaneck, New Jersey, and I met him. He became a mentor. That really gave me a lot of confidence. And being in the Bronx at the origin of hip hop, I was privy to the block parties and some of them, and people rapping and starting to rap and DJ. And my grandmother used to have poetry books with Mary Baraka in it, and Nikki Giovanni, and people like that, Clarence Major. And I used to read those all the time, not knowing that one day the hip hop was going to come and the poetry is going to all just come together. And we was already breakdancing and doing graffiti and all of that stuff just for having fun. So all that pretty much culminated into me being an MC, conscious MC, because the 5%, as Russell Simmons would say, 5% has so much to do with the origin of hip hop. Right. So that merging, the 5% culture merging with hip hop, I was just right there, at a time, not knowing it, because we wasn't trying to get paid, we was just having fun. We started later seeing the commercialization of hip hop, and we're like, oh snap, Sugar Hill, they from Inglewood, the next town over, they like, whoa, and we start seeing, like, I know Dre from DOS Effects, I talked to him right before he blew up, Redhead King's son, I was hanging around with him, stuff like that. And but one thing I learned also was marketing. We were 16 years old and renting out VFWs and Masonic lodges and stuff like that, women's clubs, charging $10 giving roses we get from the gas station to the ladies.
Yeah.
First, the first 20 ladies free get roses, and then
I hear
free
that though.
you got a little chicken. But I learned marketing because we was packing venues, DJing and MCing and stuff like
Mm.
that. So yeah, that's some of the backdrop that kind of made me who I am. Also, just being without a father, my mother let me run free. And like my friends and I in the Bronx, back when I moved to Teaneck, we would play games called Get Lost and just get on our bikes and stuff and end up in country clubs, junkyards, and everywhere
She,
else.
yeah,
So I get back home safely. So I became, in my nature, I became a risk taker.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so I'm still a risk taker. I got that hustle. I'm gonna go on jumping around a little, but also around 5 or 6 years old, there was a corner supermarket, and at 5 or 6 years old, I would help ladies take their packages up into their apartment. Sometimes I get in their car, into their cab. It was a different time then.
Yeah,
It was black ladies, older ladies, and I'd help them with their groceries up into their apartments. So I had that hustle mentality. My first job, 11, selling newspapers, Suburbanite, and the Bergen Record at 13, and Dial America at 16, and then all retail, 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 everywhere you name, I worked. So,
yeah,
always had that hustle mentality. And what I see now is like elephant in the room of almost any business that doesn't succeed is lack of marketing. Any poet that doesn't succeed, any artist, lack of marketing.
right.
So, we with Bless the Mic, and now my partners up the mic, Bless the Mic. We were doing so many things that we finally put together. I put together a surprise documentary for
Mm-hmm.
them of many of the highlights and things that happened over the years since around I think 2009
Mm.
that happened in between Patterson and a little bit in Teaneck to help us market and to help spoken word come back and artists have a place to perform. And
Yes.
we hope to begin in Patterson, but we're going to move it to different venues. So even if you guys have a venue where you are, and you'd like to do something in conjunction with us or write us down or whatever, because we plan on making a lot of noise, and that is like for any artist that comes through, we want them to like we want to live stream. I have public access TV shows in Newark, in the
Right.
Bronx, in Manhattan, Bergen County. So like we're gonna plus the internet, we're gonna really try to give maximum exposure
Yeah.
to an artist, so this because what I'm learning, and I mean I pretty much knew this, and I have a friend DJ Juan Cipher, who was touring a lot with Sugar Hill and Melly Mel and all of them, Sugar Hill Records. And he said something when we had a conversation one day, and that was about 10 years ago. He said it's going to go back to the Chitlin circuit. All right.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, that was like before we might have had some records out. I'm talking about back in the day. I'm talking about Billie
Mm.
Holiday, Sam Cooke. Like you really had to, well, you still have to have payola for a lot of radio, but it was definitely payola to get your stuff played on the radio. But the shows, artists still mainly get paid off of shows. So the shows were in the mom and pop spots, the liquor stores and the juke joints
Right.
and the Masonic lodges and church basements, wherever we could go and have a performance. It wasn't as much radio, wasn't no internet,
Uh-huh.
wasn't that much TV or no TV at that time. So we were able to set up circuits where we can tour,
Uh-huh.
right? And just like the Negro Leagues had their own thing, and we had a lot of separate things going on, and we were still successful. So we see, and I saw, and what he was talking about is there's going to come a time when we get back to a lot of that
Mm.
because with people like Master P, we had vinyl and we had CDs and DVDs and VHS. So we had a product, a tangible product to sell. And now that everything is digitized, what can we really sell? You go
Mm.
to somebody with a CD or DVD, they might say, I don't even have a machine for that anymore. You know?
Yeah.
So excuse me, turn the volume down a little bit, please. Thank you. Um, so yeah, so being that we don't have that to sell, and there's so many algorithms with the digital arena, with Facebook and YouTube and everything, we don't
Facts.
know what's going on. We don't know. We might have 1 million followers, but it shows us we have 10,000 followers.
True.
And we might have sold 10,000 downloads and have 100,000 streams, but it shows us different.
Yeah.
So that is a good mechanism for some kind of marketing. But coming back to the venue and utilizing that venue for all that it's worth, and letting artists come through and people come through and get entertained,
Right.
that's where we're at right
So let me ask you, what you got the hip hop thing going on? That hip hop school, right?
now. You said a hip hop school?
Yeah. Or the class?
Oh, the hiphopteacher.com.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm building that almost daily. Whenever I have free time and a new idea, I put something up. What has happened is, even today, I got report that a school in Newark that I used to work at, they played my PEMDAS rap. And
Okay.
for those that don't know, that's the basics of algebraic expressions. Putting the parentheses first, and et cetera, it's equations, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's the successful way. So I found out that the kids had a math test. So they what they do is they put it on Zoom before the test. They have a pump up. So they played
Okay.
it for all the math classes in the school, and the kids love it. PEMDAS, PEMDAS.
Well, that's what's up,
So
though. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So when I saw that, I said, I had made some videos in the past, a few things with educationally and some motivational stuff with animation for kids. And I said to myself, why not just put it all together? So I put it together. I started making more and more because as I go into different schools as a teacher and as a substitute teacher, what happens is I see they're playing a lot of videos now. And there's a video for everything. There's a video for wash your hands and
Yeah.
video for
That's
tie your
what's up, though.
shoes. Yeah.
I peeped the joint out on Instagram. I was like,
Okay.
oh, that's intriguing. I was like, yo, yeah, bro. Something
Thank
different and
you.
whatnot, but it's active though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
got one called All Atoms Matter. I like that's one of my favorites now.
yeah.
All Atoms Matter. Check it out. So yeah, so the hiphopteacher.com. Teachers, what I want is for parents, homeschoolers, and little kids, and not just little kids. There's some things for teenagers, but it's really elementary for the most part, except for the motivation. That's for everybody. But I want teachers and school systems, hopefully, to also check my stuff out because there's a lot of corny stuff out there. And the kids love it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I can do that better. I can do that better. You
So
deserve better.
so in other words, you're trying to give the world a lift,
Yes, sir.
a alley oop. You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean?
Give a
That's
little
what's up,
boom
man.
back with that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
A lot of times we do got to return back to the essence of where it
Right.
all began. We just
Hmm.
want to put a little twist on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
So
I find out when they find out I'm a rapper, oh Lord. Now you're a rapper? Rap. Give me some bars. Drop the mic. Blah blah blah. Like, oh God. Calm down. All right now. Later on. Later on. But they love rappers.
yeah.
And I'm like, y'all still love me even though I'm older and all of that. Yeah. Rap.
Hey, that's what's up, man. It's good to see a lot of these young kids, doing the poetry thing, doing the rap
Hmm.
thing, but at the same time, just be a little proactive out there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Try to make a difference in the world, same way how we came up.
Right.
When we had the ciphers on the corners and all that type of stuff. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So, you know, build and destroy. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
And return, renovate, build another one. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
so that's what's up on that. But what's some of the other things you got going on, brother? Like,
Okay. So yeah, that's the hiphopteacher.com, and my YouTube page is the Hip Hop Teacher. It's a brand new page. Subscribe. I need subscription. All right. What
hey,
else is
subscribe to
going
the channel. You know what I mean?
on? Right. Please subscribe. Brother needs some support. Uh well, like I'm always doing poetry, but what's happening, what I'm waiting on is some fine gentlemen from Canada. I got a brother Charles in Toronto, Canada. Well, are you familiar with Looperman? Looperman is a good site.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I stumbled on it maybe 10 years ago. And it's based in the UK. And producers and remixers, DJs, they go in there looking for acapellas.
Oh wow.
Now, there's everything from the worst amateur to amateurs to highly professional people,
Yeah.
right? So I have sold like, in other words, I put whenever I do a song, I usually put the acapella on Looping
Yeah.
and for free. And then there's a clause where you could use this for promotion and I won't charge you. Just credit my name. Or you gotta pay if you use it. If you want to use it for promotion. I mean for make
Yeah,
money.
I hear you, man.
So I've got guys, shout out to the whole world. I got guys from Brazil, Italy, like Germany, anywhere, Australia. And
Yeah.
they have used my stuff. It's a lot of EDM people, a lot of house people, a little bit of
Okay.
reggae and hip hop, but a lot of EDM, they heavy on it. So brother Charles found me a couple of years ago and could we connected finally. He said he was trying to reach me, but he has he did like 3 albums worth of remixes on my acapellas.
Mm.
Some of it's going supposed to come out this year, early, like soon.
Oh, that's what's up.
Um, yeah, then some other people checked his Instagram page out,
Yeah.
and they're from Europe, London, and they remix some of my stuff, and they're gonna put
Mm.
vinyl out.
Yeah,
So
congratulations on that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
and they said thank you. They said vinyl over there in London, there's still like a market for it, a taste for it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna put me out on a vinyl. And there's another brother, old Tim Bauer. I got that name. I was trying to get people. Tim Bauer got something coming out. He did a remix on something. A couple things I did. So since they were doing that, I kind of slowed the poetry down just to wait for that to come out. Because
Yeah.
I did have some vinyl, some other brothers sent me that they had put out before too. But these guys are very well connected with the house scene and they do big
Mm.
promotions and concerts. So they're like, "You ready to tour? You ready to tour?" And I'm like, "Yo, once the records drop, let me know what you sponsor." You know?
Let you know what that money looking like, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gonna send me the round trip tickets, hotel, and money.
Shoot
Yeah,
you over
yeah, I'm
there,
ready to tour.
shoot you over there like Jimi Hendrix or not.
Yeah, right. I'll be acting like it too. I'm a nut.
Yeah. But that's cool though. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So
So
so what can you tell the people about, like how to really get activated within the poetry and just marketing and everything like that? Like how can you give these folks out here in the Poetry Corner universe the alley oop?
right, right. Well, it depends on where you're starting at. Like if you're, if it's a beginner or somebody that's been in the game. If you're a beginner, definitely, I would say hit open mics unless you just know you so bad that you can slam.
Yeah.
I never wanted to slam.
I'd rather go to the
But
open mic. You know what I mean?
yeah, I like enjoy what I wrote. Okay,
Yeah.
if you like it, I'm happy with that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I would have slammed, but I don't think at this point I would ever slam unless it was for fun. But yeah, hit open mics a lot. And again with marketing is niche marketing. So number one, I tell any artist that you should be a big fish in a small pond. In other words, you should have your town and your region on your back. I mean, it's not easy.
Well, how do you feel about support though? You know what I'm saying? Some people out here is like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I said it's not easy because I feel where I live, where I grew up, where everybody knows me,
Yeah.
I don't get that much support. And it's okay because I see like one time I was in New York in the city of Guru, that's when he was alive, Gangstar.
Yeah.
They
May you
came
sleep
to
in
this
peace.
club. Yeah, rest in peace. They came to this club. I was like, yeah. They got on, they was doing their thing. They said, wait a minute, New York, y'all ain't making enough noise. They said, we just came from all over the world. And they were going crazy. Now we back in New York, and y'all like, so what's up, New York? So I'm glad I saw that because, man, Bergen County, Jersey, like New York City give me love, but I predominantly grew up in Teaneck, Inglewood, Hackensack.
Right.
And I'm like, where y'all at? Lying here, yeah. But when I'm at an event, y'all don't show up, and other people from South Jersey, Central Jersey, New York will show up more than my people. It's weird.
Yeah. So basically, when you feel like you don't get the support, does that make you go harder and stronger?
Oh yeah, I love that.
How's that feeling like?
Well, that's the ultimate challenge. But I just wanted to say something. Remind me of this question. Your question, please. My wife's a Capricorn. That's all. Anyway, I know it's your fault, but I'm gonna blame you. I love you, but I'm gonna blame you. Anyway, all right, reality TV. What was I saying? Too much. Remind me, brother. Where was I at?
Well, we was talking about the support and everything, and
Okay. Right.
Going harder and being strong out there.
Right. So the weirdest thing is that when like Deaf Poetry was out, and that's why we want to do it. We want to get a big buzz happening and get people energized. When that was out, I wasn't on Deaf Poetry, but that was just a time when people were booking poets, and I worked all over Connecticut. You name it, Bridgeport, West Haven, whatever all them places.
Yeah.
In Springfield, Massachusetts, Basketball Hall of Fame twice. That stage, that was nice. Boston. They was giving me mad love, more love than I was getting. New York giving me more love than I was getting. So that was weird. So what happens is I'm like, it's just like with any, not that my people are haters, but just like if you get haters or you're not getting the love you think you should get, then it's like, okay, well, what else could I do to break the chain? What else could I do to push forward? And like one of the things I did early, just for like to address your question too about artists coming out, but again, some of these tools aren't there anymore. When I first got into the poetry scene around 2005, I noticed that artists would pour their heart out and then say, buy my chapbook for $3. I was like, you're doing all that for a chapbook? Most people wouldn't buy it. And I noticed most people ain't have videos. So I said, oh. I made a Miss Melanin video. I made Armchair Revolutionary. I started making videos, poetry videos.
Yeah.
So like that. I always look for the loophole. What people aren't doing.
Right.
So some people got mad at me. And I started having CDs for sale. And some of the hosts, oh come on, always got a new CD out. Ain't my fault. I see it.
Hey, striving, brother, striving, grinding.
Yeah. So always got to try to find out. Not a trend, but try to make a trend or try to be ahead of the curve. Try to see what's missing and then supply it.
Yeah.
And I really do feel right now that like you can start a poetry thing in your own town. You know what I mean? As long as it's not going to break you, if you can find a place like a library, basement, or church, or wherever they're not going to charge you too much, you get the door, they get the bar or the food, then go ahead. Because if 5 people come in, that's 5 people they didn't have before as customers. And 10 or 20 come in, now you're successful.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that myself. Got some plans this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like I was telling somebody, I always consider myself the underdog.
Oh yes.
The 6th man coming off the bench. You know what I mean? You 6th man coming off the bench, you already see the offense and defense. So you know how to go out there and just shake and bake and just make it do what it do.
That's it.
Almost better than the starters.
My
I mean,
whole life I've been the
or
underdog.
just as well, or just as good as the starters. I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah. And I like when that underdog comes off the bench and scores like 35. Everybody's like, I ain't know.
yeah. Oh, I ain't know he's that nice. Even if he was the
Yeah,
seventh man coming off the
yeah.
bench, like, yo, all right, let me get out there and just handle my handle. You see everything. I
Hmm.
mean, so you just step it up. I mean, but that's what's up though. But so do you feel that it's harder, like with your interaction with other poets and being on platforms and all that type of stuff? Like, what's your
After the
perception of
first
that?
part, I started
Because
laughing.
I'm saying, because I know you do your own thing with a lot of different things, so that's what I'm just asking that question. Getting to know Kamal Amani.
Interaction with a lot of poets, and what was the last part of that? That's
Interaction and jumping on the platforms and stuff like that. Like,
I think that's one of the reasons that we started, not really starting, but restarting our own engine.
yeah,
Because I wouldn't say poets specifically, but
right.
people in general.
Artists.
Yeah, artists
Yeah,
and the music industry, quote unquote, people. Um, yeah, I think that a lot of people don't see the trends and don't see the ups and downs of business.
mm,
You know, the zigzag zig, the losses and the gains, the profits and the losses. So meaning like you can't really talk to somebody that doesn't know.
right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't, like I had a person tell me before there was a guy like the Ron Alexander show. I just spoke to Ron Alexander today. He had one of the biggest underground shows in New York, cable
Oh,
TV.
okay.
And like, yeah, like I would get feedback from that. That's how I one of the reasons I got into cable TV, public
Mm,
access and stuff. Um, and like, I mean, he had Red Alert on there, he had Cameras One on there, he had a lot of I can't even the Brat, you
mm,
know, and people all over the city, Chuck Chill Out, and people will see you on there. Might pay them a little bit or whatever, a little promotional fee. Not a
right.
lot, not nothing I could break you. We work with you, right? But I know an artist. I know an artist that said, "Yeah, man, you out here grinding and stuff. Why don't you go on there? Why should I pay somebody for my talent if I'm good? Why would I pay for it?" Now I can't talk to him, and,
Yeah.
and and a person recently told me, "Well, if you don't have no celebrities, you don't have no celebrities on your flyer and at your show, ain't nobody gonna come."
Mm,
So I get that nonsense, and I'm like, you know, there was a time nobody knew who Charlemagne was. And what's the young lady Angela McGee, and
yeah, Angela
you know
Yee.
what I mean? Like there's a time people didn't know you till they saw you or heard you on the radio or TV.
Right.
So what kind of thinking is that? So I think the platform is to educate also, but to get started, you know what I mean? Like you can't start with people that don't know what's going on. Because they're not
Right.
going to get it. And if they don't get it, they're not going to believe. They're not going to be enthusiastic. They're not going to stick with
Right. So basically, it's about really becoming that personality.
it. Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
Just like, my wife and I always say, where such and such have spoke to you that way if you were a white man or if you were Russell Simmons, Clive Davis, would
right.
they have said that to you? Would they have acted like that? No.
Mm,
So unfortunately, if you're not down when I'm shooting in the gym, when things blow up, don't come running around and put your hand out.
but you know how that go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just something that's been existing. Let
right.
me ask you. I want you to let the people out there in the Poach Corner universe know about your loving chit chat.
Well, love and chit chat. Okay, well, yeah, that's why I want to. I want. Well, yeah, love and chit chat. Um, I have love and chit chat page and Facebook. I have a YouTube page for love and chit chat with a lot of relationship videos on it. A few where I have spoken to young ladies, and you and I have spoke before.
Right.
and that's what I want much more of. Um, it's not my priority right now, but with assistance and collaboration, it can easily be done.
Right.
Um, my wife and I have been together 30 years
Amen.
and married 27. Thank you. So when I started seeing family and friends breaking up and divorcing and needing help, we both started counseling
Yeah.
and trying to save relationships and things like that. And I started really seeing that a lot of people don't get it. And again, I would say trendy, but it's because of the changes in society and
Right.
the expectations. Like when Kevin Samuels was alive, rest in peace, he had his perspective, and then some of the ladies called it, they had their perspective. But I would say that a lot of people didn't want to adjust to the times at all. And I think a lot of people don't understand post traumatic slavery syndrome. We could say that they say most of us were already here, we weren't slaves, we were prisoners of war, but post traumatic slavery syndrome, understanding that we have been in a war, and in that war, they try to take out the man. I think if a lot of women understood that things would be better. And I think if a lot of men understood that now that the women are making more money than most men and having titles, et cetera, the man can't walk in the house like I'm the head of the family when I say goes, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I think it's the truth that I'm telling, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. If I was, because I noticed that from responses and views too. Now, a lot of ladies they watch what I put out there, but I think if I was telling, dramatic, shock value type things, then
Mhm.
I'd get way more response.
Yeah.
So it's almost at the point of ministry at this point, because if you really want it, I have it for you. But most people don't really want the truth. They can't handle the truth.
Hey, a lot of times that's how it is, though. You know what I mean? Got to take accountability. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So but yeah, I really like like I said, the things that you got going on. And what's the other YouTube joint you got? The Guru?
Oh, unorthodox guru.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That joint right there.
Yeah. See, when I first got into social media, it wasn't for friends. It was to promote my poetry, basically.
Yeah.
And I had, Up in the Attic is a movie that I did, my first movie, around
Saw that.
2006. You saw that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cuz was in there with two of my little cousins
Who's that?
on Safir.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, wow. So your fam's in there.
Yeah.
That's peace. Yeah, so that was to promote stuff. And what happened was, how this thing is, you get locked out, your YouTube, you get locked, you can't forget your password, you can't remember this. And so I ended up having all this stuff. So I started trying to focus in and name it. And that one I had the most subscribers at
Yeah.
that time. So I said, I am the unorthodox guru because I do a lot of things and I don't do it the way I'm supposed to. Like you said, I'm the underdog. I feel like I'm the underdog, so I'm unorthodox,
Yeah.
you know.
A lot of times it's good to be unorthodox.
Yeah,
Long as you're able to stay grounded and balanced.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Everything don't have to be traditional. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, in my opinion. You know
In
what I
my
mean?
opinion, too.
You know
Drunken
what I mean?
style.
Yeah. Yeah. Come through like a Shaolin monk.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
You could be falling, but don't fall all the way. Bounce back.
Yeah. Yeah. Come back through earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a
But
question too.
mhm.
How do you feel about the different genres of poetry?
Mm. Well, I mean, I'm kind of like to each his own. But erotic is erotic. You gotta be about that. You know what I'm saying? I guess if I was single, I'd go run up in them spots. You know, but if I'm married, and I ain't gonna go with my wife. It's a bit much for me. I'm a little
Yeah.
conservative. But that's good for them. Um, And then there's like I like humor. So like I got Cop the New Whip. Y'all check out Cop the New Whip and check out I met this lady from Toho. That's some funny stuff. So I like that kind. I like funny stuff. So that's cool. That kind of that kind of poetry, comedic poetry. Um, revolutionary stuff. It's kind of like I don't like when like all 30 people get up there and talk about the white man and black man
Yeah.
and all of this and everybody's angry, but
Right.
you're really either slamming or trying to make some money, but you're so angry,
Hmm.
and then nobody gets together and builds anything.
Right.
So that's the only part I like about that. But it's impressive if you say your stuff in a certain way, you
Yeah.
know. But that's not like what I said. I don't really like slamming personally because I don't like the competitive thing. Like you know, I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of flim flammy stuff go on with competitions in general,
Yeah.
with judges and all of that funny stuff. I've seen some real funny stuff go on, so I don't even trust that. Um, now, what else? What other poetry? What other poetry?
What the like erotica, consciousness, emotional feelings
Yeah,
type
I like that,
poetry.
and that's where
Or
I want to go in the near future. I started kind of doing that, kind of freestyling that very, lately. Um, transparent, transparent emotions,
okay.
just like a testimony, where you
Yes.
stand up in church and give your testimony
Right.
and let the emotions come out, cry, whatever. Because especially for black men and women, the pain that we have layers of,
Right.
we need to let it out.
I mean, it
And
is good to let that out though. I mean,
yeah,
release.
yeah.
I mean,
So if anything could become anything that I did could become a therapeutic testimonial type vibe or
mhm,
outlet, I'd be all for it. That'd be my number one priority.
yeah.
Sometimes things trigger me, man. I just sit there sometimes and something trigger me, I just start crying. Sometimes tears of joy, sometimes tears of pain, but I
Yeah.
recognize that, dang, I've been through a lot. I've been hit by a
Hey,
lot.
that's what I call, what I'm saying, turning the faucet on.
Yeah,
Release.
yes,
Release so it don't even need to exist no more.
that's right.
I mean, there's still the remnants, I
Hmm.
mean, but just let all that go. I mean,
Right.
and search, look up to the sky for the shooting star. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my poetry and my motivational speaking, forgot about that. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. But that's really about surrender. I think people think surrender is a weak word. You see the white flag raised, you gave up. But I say
Nah,
you gave up. Yeah, you gave up to fight another day.
exactly. True.
Yeah. You didn't give
That's
up.
what it's about.
Yeah. So, I teach the art of war in a sense, in the motivational speeches that I do. Because I'm showing that the art of war is deception. When you're weak, appear strong, strong, appear weak, um, and that you advance. You see the hole, you go through it, you advance, you keep advancing. Now, when that obstacle comes, the enemy comes. Now, and you might get circled in. You might have to surrender. You
Yeah.
might have to retreat. You might have to
That's
retreat and lose ground, but you still stayed alive.
yeah.
And then you can regroup, and then you can come back and advance again. And if
Right.
you see something different, you can see where you can build something different or counteract something.
I have another question on you
Hmm.
though. This is one of those coming from out of left field. So when you going through it, how do you feel the importance of your significant other is to you when it's involving your poetry? You know what I mean?
Mm. When it's involved in my poetry,
Yeah, because what if you don't have somebody or whatever? Like, I'm just trying to go in your mind, like, because
hmm
you've been with your wife 30 years.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So your ins and outs of your poetry, like, how is she reflective in your balance?
Oh well,
when you're feeling mad, when you're feeling emotional, when you just feeling like I can't take this stuff no more. Is there a difference, like if she wasn't there and that you have your wife here, like just having that significant other, that shoulder to lean on? I just want your opinion.
Well, my wife gives me high levels of support.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give her high levels of support, and we give each other our personal space. She'll know sometimes if I got to just go in the room and incense candle, turn off the light, talk to God, sit on the floor, whatever. Take my herbal baths. My son and my wife, they know. My candles and incense come on, and I'm burning that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so that's a good thing. And my wife was the best writer in high school, in Dwight Morrow High School in England for her grade. So even with I'll tell you, I was super. All right, doggone tried. I was writing that. Now that's heavy. And she came in and said, say this, say that, say I digressed. Shit, I digress. Oh, that's some shit to say. So she came and put a
Yeah.
little bit on there.
Yeah.
And Miss Melanin was about her. That was like my first one that the females just loved. And I thought that was going to go a little further because it was starting to hit the little radio. But yeah, Miss Melanie, because she was teased in high school for being dark skinned,
Mm-hmm.
and it stuck with her till now in some aspects, dealing with that and
Yeah.
complexions and interracism and all of that. So, I was like, I met her like, I love dark skin women, whatever. I was taught to value Black and African, indigenous people. So, I made something to big her up. And then it just ended up being more like a neo soul spoken word vibe.
Yeah.
And so I think, she appreciates that. And she knows that most of my poetry and everything I do is to inspire people.
Right.
So she don't try to stop that, because she loves our people like I love our people.
Right.
So it's really to inspire people and especially the children.
So I just fall in place as one,
Yeah, definitely.
creatively, artistically. And,
Yes. Yeah, because she does fashion too. She
okay.
hasn't done a lot lately because she's been a great mother and wife, but she has made dresses for proms and weddings and things
Okay.
like that. She's from Barbados. Her mother taught her to sew when she was young, so she could sew some stuff up and everything.
Yeah.
She has a lot of creative ideas. She starts to mess around with when she gets in her zone. I fall
Yeah.
back.
Right.
She's in one room, I go in the next. And like now, for the most part, they know I'm here with you. They go fall back. But other than that, we close. We
Yeah.
together a lot.
Because I've seen situations, even experienced myself. You write a piece and the person like, well, who inspired you to write that?
Yeah.
You be like, huh? And like you know what I'm saying, I write for the world. I can grab somebody else's emotions and
hmm
just be a narrator, you know what I mean?
Right.
But so did you ever come across something like that when she raised the eyebrow on you like
Nah, nah, well, you
like
got a point there because I heard Lionel Richie say that. He said, now that I'm divorced, I can write more, you know. But I think I take it for granted that I'm just not going to go there
yeah.
while I'm married. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be like my ex was, I used to do this and with all these chicks. Like, I'm not even going to do,
I,
or whatever the case may be.
yeah. I feel like when you're writing about love, though, love can come from anywhere, any space. So I feel like a person might be battling their own insecurities. But if you're a woman, you know what I'm saying, your significant other is comfortable in our own space, you should never have to worry about something like that. Because I feel
Correct.
like that can take away the creativity from a person. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I feel like if you're dealing with someone or you're with someone who can't understand your creativity,
hmm
then maybe they shouldn't be in that place and space of time. You know what I'm saying? At
Yeah.
least you have to understand it, about
Right.
having a knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just I just was puzzled, you know what I mean? Because you doing a whole lot of different things. So that's what I'm like, I wonder how bro and his wife be like here, that there. You know what I mean? Because you
That's a good
definitely fly with
question.
it. And I just figured it, you know what I'm saying,
That's
throw
a
that
good
out there.
question. And the thing is, she checkmates me in a good way. She balances me because, like I said, I'm a risk taker.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I went into that history. I am the ultimate risk taker, and I got to stop at some point because I got a family.
Yeah.
Else I'd be out there doing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'd be out there hitting every open mic and just. But
Yeah.
I gotta come home with some money.
Right.
I can't be out there come home at 2 in the morning. How was it? Oh, good. I ripped it down. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
But I
I like
figured,
to come home and be like, here you go, baby. There
but
you go.
I figured other people out there who might either be going through something or they living the life where you at,
Hmm.
their significant other, maybe they can get a little clarity on what is, what's not, and what's the
Hmm.
possibility. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
because it could be a sticky situation. I mean, I've been in that before, and it's like, I got a text one time, I wrote something real elaborate, but my cousin was going through something. I have another cousin was going through something, and we was talking about it. So me being creative on it, and I was just like heard this nice melodic beat and everything like that, and I was just
Hmm.
like, hmm. So I just started writing on that, and I posted on Instagram. She was like, "Who's that for?" And I was
Hmm.
like, "Excuse me." I was like, "It's like, what are you talking about? The way you ever?" I was like, "Stop." I was like, "Stop. You doing too much."
I get it though. Like every woman is different. Man.
Yeah,
Some women will be like, don't even look at another chick. And other women will
yeah,
be like, I understand that you're gonna look at her because I look at them too. But we coming home to each other. And then other women might be, like every woman got a different. So I think it's important to know that and like not
yeah,
really put nothing in their face.
yeah,
Now, the main way she balances me is because I'm in the field of education
yeah,
and whatever job I might have. But she'll say, "Oh, why'd you post that? Like, you might want to take that down, or you might want to." And she was like, "Because like if the principal sees that, or if the kid's parent." So
right,
that's
true.
what happened to me. One of my main YouTube page I took down
Uh-huh.
that had I think eight. I don't know. I don't know how many. It was a lot of subscribers. I didn't know what I was doing back then. I
Yeah,
didn't even know what a lot of subscribers were.
yeah,
But one of the schools I was at, the kids found out my YouTube page, and some of them was telling me because I was, on the spectrum type school. Some of the
yeah,
kids, I'm gonna tell my father. I saw your videos, and this and that, and I was like, okay, I just took it right down.
yeah,
I need my job to take care of my family. You
yeah. I feel
know,
you. That's
yeah.
what's up, though. Well, look, is there anything else like you like to throw out there to the world to let these people know that yo, Kamal Amani is here? You know what I'm saying? Reach out and
If you
reach
want
out to
to.
a brother.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to shout out Malik Warner and Brother Sadiq because we're about to put this thing in motion. And, the Poetry Corner is down with us. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And, yeah, for real.
Right
And
here.
I want you to know that, like I was saying earlier, you call it what you want. The shipment circuit, the lack of CDs, DVDs, tangible items to sell, messing around with this digital world, it's kind of like playing the lotto. So we're going to, and we are setting up a platform for artists to come on. And if you get in early and you stay consistent, we can
Mhm.
do a lot of things together. We can tour together. We can do a lot of things. If you come late to the game because you was hating and not understanding, things are gonna be set up where you pay your price and your fee, and then you can rock. And if you got attitude, you still can't rock. But you know, we're doing this because, well, we're definitely doing it for business, but we're also doing it to push the genre and to give people opportunities. If you
Right.
look at our new documentary that I did, The Evolution of Solutions, you will see that it starts with kids, starts with children,
Right.
teenagers. So we really want the teenagers to have something. They don't have what we used to have, even in terms of things like the Apollo and Soul Train and
Right.
106 and Park.
That's
So we
true.
want, yeah, we want people to have something besides trying to get to some heights that is almost, non-achievable, for the average person.
Yeah,
We want you to be able to connect. So, solutions, that's the next step. That's the next
that's
level.
what's up, man.
And
That's
we're
what's
gonna
up.
do it big. Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? My thing is like this. It's been great having you on here,
Thank
and
you.
we're gonna have a conversation. We got to try to start getting these youth on this poetry corner thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
And that's, excuse me, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if they don't see no hype, if they don't see it rocking some consistency, and they don't see where they can get paid, a lot of them, it's not all about getting paid, but
It's the
there
love.
needs to be something exciting going on, man. That
It's the love of
gives
the
them
craft,
hope.
man. The love of the craft. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been here 2020.
Hmm.
And we still here. It's 2023.
Yeah, brother.
We ain't gonna stop. We ain't never gonna
That's
stop.
it. That's it.
But look, I want to thank everybody out there in the Poetry Corner universe for the King's Dream pop-up. Click like and subscribe to the channel. Home base is Let's Talk. We'd like to thank the producer Q Ford for always making sure everything is razor sharp. The brother Kamal Amani for showing up tonight on the King's Dream. Click like and subscribe to the channel. Get those notifications for all the shows on the platform. And we out here. Peace, love, and poetry.